This is 100% whole wheat bread made the easiest way, I promise. But even before starting with the recipe, you need to understand the recipe ingredients, its substitutions, and the order in which it is added. But if you would like to skip this, then go to the timestamp shown in the video at this point to start with the process directly. We begin with water that is at room temperature, not lukewarm or hot. I'll explain why later in the video when it will make more sense. In place of water, you can substitute milk, and in that case, skip the milk powder in the recipe. Then we will be adding salt. Salt actually retards the yeast activity, so adding the right amount and not mixing it with the yeast is important for the bread to not sink in the center as seen here. You can read more about my 3 failed attempts. Yes, it took me 3 attempts to finally nail this recipe, and you can learn all the lessons that I learned so that you don't commit the same mistake from the blog spicesandflavors.com, the link for which is shared in the description box below. Proceeding, next comes sugar, which can also be substituted with jaggery or brown sugar, but not maple syrup or any liquid sweetener, as too much liquid also causes the bread to collapse. Next comes milk powder, also known as powdered milk, that acts as an enrichment to soften the crumbs. You can skip this if you are using milk in place of water in the recipe. After that goes the oil, using olive oil here. Finally, the star ingredient, whole wheat flour. Please do not use Chakki Ka Atta or other brands like Ashirwad or Pillsbury. It's crucial to choose flour made using the roller milling process rather than stone ground flour. The roller milling process preserves more protein content, resulting in a crumb that's perfect for toasts and sandwiches because it absorbs the right amount of water as compared to the Chakki Ka Atta ones. I have mentioned brand recommendations for those of you interested in the description box below, as this is not a sponsored video, just sharing what I have personally used. Finally, you would need yeast. Strictly stick to instant yeast or bread machine yeast only. Other varieties like active dry yeast won't work. That completes our ingredient list. Nothing unusual, but knowing the right product is important for a successful 100% whole wheat bread, isn't it? Okie dokie, so to the bread machine pan, attach the kneading blade. Then add all the ingredients, that is water, salt, sugar, milk powder, oil, flour and yeast in the said order only. This bread definitely yields a light bread, but if you would like to have a texture similar to the store-bought ones, then substitute 50% of the flour with bread flour, because that is what the supermarket bread consists to. Yes, I know, right? It's never 100% whole wheat. Taking a moment here, I am so much in love with breads made using bread maker that the moment I landed in New Zealand, you guessed it right, I got myself a bread maker even on my vacation. But that is not what I intend to say. The point here is, as per this particular machine, you are supposed to make a well on top of your flour when you add yeast. So definitely check the manual that comes along with your bread machine and remember to read the instruction once. The lifelong bread machine that you can see in the video, which is the one I own in India, does not call for any such thing, so I just added all the ingredients one on top of the other. Coming back, place the bread pan and twist to lock it. Choose the wheat bread option from the menu, 75 grams weight and medium crust color, and press start. Now, this is why I mentioned about using room temperature water or milk in the start of the video. In the bread machine that I'm using, upon choosing the wheat bread option, the machine goes into heat mode for a while. So it is bringing up the water temperature on its own to suit the recipe before starting the kneading process. If you do not have any such option in your machine, then opt for lukewarm water or milk. Just make sure that it is not too hot, or else you would kill the yeast and the bread won't rise. After about 3 minutes of kneading, just check upon your bread once. If it doesn't form a cohesive ball, you might need to add flour or water accordingly. I did add 2 tablespoons of additional flour to get it like this. Yes, you can open your lid while the bread is kneading, but once it goes into proofing or baking mode, do not open the lid or else the dough will collapse. And that's about it. After the baking cycle ends, immediately transfer the bread to cool on a wire rack. Let it cool for about 30 to 40 minutes before slicing and enjoying it on its own with some jam, or this is also suitable for toasting and making sandwiches. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Find all the relevant information in the description box, and I'll see you soon in my next one. Until then, this is Sushma signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.